Welcome to the SOP program. This story marks the continuation of the incredible true story of Mendoza's journey. Enjoy.
Alright, gang, we are driving great distances. Been a good day so far. We're heading over to Miami, Homestead area. First official weekend as a weekend warrior. And it's weird. It's a weird feeling the moment I touch my OCPs. And after not touching them for 2 months, I kind of had like a little sort of phase with them. And it was just weird. It was like a strange moment. Like, I was just like, this used to be my life for 3 years. For 3.5 years, this used to be literally my life of just doing it. You know, waking up every day knowing, fuck, I gotta go to work. Waking up every day knowing, fuck, I have my entire day cut because I have to be in the military. And now that is the case where it's like, I have the opportunity to just do it part-time, just do it 2 days out of the month, then do whatever else I need to do. It's a good feeling. It brings me like a sense of relief. And that's one of the things I realized is like when I started driving over here, I was like, wow, everything that you said you wanted to do in regards to doing this, you're in the stages of doing it. So it's pretty exciting to see it because it's just like, I intentionally told myself I was going to make this thing work. I was going to, well, I'm probably gonna have to climb this. Ooh, that was a good U-turn. I was going to make it work. I was going to figure it out. I was gonna come back home, regardless of what happens, whether I find a place or I have to stay at the house, at the parents' house. I was gonna make sure that I got it sorted. I got it taken care of. And I'm glad that it's still working the way it should. Now, one of the things I realized, like coming over here, is it's not like Europe. And I know it's a funny thing, but it really is not like Europe at all. Europe, there's just a sense to Europe that's what I loved about it so much, is the fact that it just felt, I don't know, cleaner would be the right word, but it felt more real. Like, maybe it's just the aesthetic of being in the towns, the aesthetic of being in so many different places, so many different cultures, having the opportunity to do it, but it just felt nicer. And then the fact that like not many people need a car out in Europe. Like, you don't technically need a car, and that's what's cool about it too, because like you can really travel a lot, and the rental things work, everything else works, the transportation's incredible, everything's awesome. And the moment I came back, I just like came back and I was just like, ugh. It's that feeling that every military member gets when maybe they go overseas, and there's obviously some that don't like it, but when they go overseas and they're like, oh my God, this is incredible. I love this. This is amazing. And then you go home and you're like, fuck. Like the people that go to Japan, every person that I hear that is from the military that went to Japan is like, I need to go back. I need to go back right now. So it's awesome. It's awesome because it's just one of those places, man. But what's pretty funny though is like with everything that I've done, I realized one major thing. The money that I made in the military, I did the whole summary. I rounded everything up. I added as well as what I made with the Goat Academy for sales. And I believe if I were to say my projections, I made around, I think, close to 80K this year. And that was with everything combined. And then the moment I came back, we removed all the military paycheck and it's gone. So it was one of those things that I didn't really fully visualize in my mind. Like, if you take this jump, you're not gonna have the amount of money that you made last year. And it was one of those moments too where obviously I'm not a part of the Goat Academy anymore. I'm not a part of that sales community, that sales group, and I'm not working for them. And then I realized, I was like, wow, I'm not making any money right now. It's a funny little thing. It's a funny little thing that, stuff like that happens and you're just like, I went through like an entire month while I was here where I was frantic. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, fuck, dude, like, what if I just do this? What if I do that? Because the one thing I realized is, like, I feel like I have a lot of great skills. Now, what do I want to focus on more, and what's going to make me the most? And I was thinking about it in that direction, and it didn't really work out. It was one of those things, and I think I cracked the code in the sense on what I should be thinking on, the person I should be trying to become. And it's interesting because sales is always going to be there. Sales is that one thing that I always will have a skill on, and I didn't give it its full gratitude that it deserved, because I initially thought the moment I would come back home that I'd be good to go, I'd be ready to rock and roll, I'd have all my ducks in a row. And in all honesty, I didn't have any of that thing. So I didn't have that mindset in my mind truly to be that person that I know I can be, to make 10K a month, to be that consistent person when it comes to sales. So where does this bring us? This brings us to us driving 4 hours to Miami, doing the reserves, coming back home, and figuring out a lot internally. Figuring out who I want to be internally, figuring out what made me the person I am. What did these 3 years teach me, and how can I implement it now? So now we're basically working under a separate company in regards to taking care of their marketing, taking care of all their marketing issues, stuff like that. And that's another thing. I didn't even know how to fucking market. That was the interesting part. It's like, a lot of what I've been going through lately is mentally the idea is like, I can always just find like an actual corporate job, and I can just stay there and just focus on that, not have to think about the risk that I took of being out here, and just saying like, okay, let me just do the right thing and lock something down. And then in my mind, there was the other part. I'm like, Mendoza, that's the whole reason why you left the military. You left the military because you found an option, you found an opportunity. But now you're taking 2 steps back, trying to say, oh, like, what if we just find some sort of safe solution and get some sort of consistency? Now, that can be an opportunity for everyone. I'm not downing it. But it's the idea is, like, most men live their lives in quiet desperation. And something that Joe Rogan said, and it stuck out to me. Most men will hit the age of 22, they'll hit the age of 21, they have youth on their side, but then they just feel all the weight of the world. They feel the bills that they get, they feel all the different tensions, all the people that are telling them a million different things on what they should do, and then they stick to something that they just knew was going to be a safe route. They knew it was going to lead to something. To give you context, right, it's the whole idea with men living their lives in quiet desperation is that when you go into the corporate role, or say you do the military, you know your outcome at the end of it. You know exactly what you're going to get out of it. You know exactly the input that you'll probably get, because it's all predetermined, because the majority of people have done that same route and they've shown exactly what they've gotten out of it. So if I were to stay in the military, do 20 years, I know exactly what type of person I'll end up becoming outside of that. And it's not a good or bad thing at all. I'm not trying to say that. But what I'm trying to say is I knew the exact outcome, and I asked myself this question. I was like, are you accepting that outcome to be your reality? Because that's exactly what it's going to be. And I decided no. I said, there's something further, there's something more than that, there's something better than that, and there's something calling me to do something way more. And I know with the youth I have, if I can just do as much as possible, learn as much as possible, fail as much as possible, I can get to a better position. I can put myself and my family in a better position, and I'll naturally have the tools I need to where whatever happens, I know I can easily find a job. I know I can easily get back on track. I know if I give my entire 10 years, so if I got all my 20s to just doing as much as possible, and if I just fuck up and I just don't end up doing it, I know exactly what I need to do to literally spend the next 10 years, 30 of my 30s, to get back on track, to play the safe route, and to do what I gotta do. But it's the idea that we live our lives in quiet desperation, and basically from that, quiet desperation breeds opportunities, but not in the good side. It breeds opportunities for the devil to basically take control of your life. How do I mean by that? is when you're living in that quiet desperation, you start to find vices. You start to find things that are basically a way for you to feel a lot better of your situation and not be accountable with what you've done and not be accountable with the person you wanted to become, but you didn't. So these vices end up coming into your life and they start becoming your actual reality. So, say for context, right? You completely live in that quiet desperation. You work your regular job, you go home, you just watch YouTube, you watch Netflix, you watch all this stuff when you go home because that's your way of coping, that's your way of feeling better about yourself. And then that's exactly what you accept as reality, so then you just keep on doing that. You keep on doing that. I'm not saying the devil's trying to give you Netflix, but it's basically the idea is if you wanted to do something so much bigger in your mind, but then you allow something like that, Netflix, short form content, doom scrolling, if you let that control your life, that is the devil giving you the opposite version of the person that he thinks you will end up becoming, because he knows that you're going to be operating on fear. He's using the fear to basically cling you in to that trap. And then once you hit 40 years old, once you hit 50, you'll get into that moment where you're like, wow, I've been on this planet for 50 years, and have I done everything I wanted to do? And that's the scary moment that a lot of people are going to have to face, is those tough questions. Because then you'll get into 80, and then you'll just be like, look, life's over. It is what it is. So that's the whole thing that I realized is I started feeling all these fears, all these just binds in my mind. Like, what does my parents think about me? What does my sister think about me? What does my uncle think about me? What should I do? Should I take care of them right now? What's the fastest way I can support them? All this stuff. But I wasn't really internally thinking about what did I initially leave the military for? I left the military because I knew there was opportunity, and I had seen other people around me getting that opportunity. Now, how can you find that though? How can you find those opportunities? How can you get that aha moment that I had? Sales. Sales was the number one thing that I was able to find, that I found other people that were just genuinely money hungry. They were ready to get after money. They were ready to figure it out. They didn't care how they did it. They knew that there was something that they had to do. And in this day and age, everybody wants the personal development, but a part of personally developing is professionally developing. And by professionally developing, I'm not trying to say money is everything, but money is everything. So that's the one little piece that I was missing. I had so much discipline. I had so much of a great mindset. I didn't know how to make money out of it though. And that's why sales came in. And now sales is going to be the end all be all, but it's going to be something that you can learn, that you can then transfer into whatever else you wanted to really, really, really do. So that's exactly how everything started churning, is when I got into sales and I initially found an online sales community. I was like, oh my God, all these people are ready to go. All these people have a mission. All these people want to do something. And that's how you start realizing that life can be a whole different ballgame if you just stand around these people. But the issue is your day-to-day is so engulfed by people that you don't want to be around, people that you naturally have to be around because you have no choice, because all the actions you took and left you at that spot, and it just leaves you in a deep hole, so you don't know what you don't know. That's what I'm so grateful about. I'm so grateful about the fact that I found sales. I'm so grateful about the fact that I took that jump to leave the military. And that leads us to this present moment, the feeling that I'm getting where I'm like, wow, I'm really in the trenches right now because I'm not making any money. By the end of January, depending on how things go, I'll only technically get about 1,000 coming in from a marketing role that I got. Everything else right now, I'm working on it. I'm picking the pieces as I go. And yes, one of the things is, in life you get dealt so many different cards. So you might see this and you might be like, well, it's because your family's allowing you to live at home. Okay, but that's not the case for you. Understand that your cards are going to be dealt the way you're dealt based off your environment. I can't control that, but you can control it. So start with the first action. Now, I was talking to one of my buddies, and he had a hard time with the concept of believing in what he was trying to do. So to give you context, he's trying to break into the content agency space. He's trying to do the videography, but he doesn't even know how to really edit. He doesn't know how to do any of the other stuff. But he has an opportunity to work with someone and genuinely learn all those skills. Now the issue is, he wants to make some money out of it. He wants to make a good amount of money out of it. He wants to make some profit out of it. But that is the number one thing that's kind of controlling his mindset right now. And I asked him, I was like, let me ask you something. Do you have the editing skills down? He was like, no. I was like, if you were to put a professional videographer, content creator in front of you, and you were to go side by side with them, do you genuinely think you could be as good as he is? And I know that's kind of a rough question to ask, but it's a true one. He said no. And I was like, so what makes you feel like you can actually offer that price range if you don't have the skill set, and you know that when you hop on that call with him, you know you're just basically going to offer one thing, and that's videography. And you're only expecting the output that that person's going to give you is, one, his trust, two, his finances, when he's building up from the start. He's in the startup phase of his brand. And it was a tough pill to swallow, and I was like, look, man, I get it, but there's a lot of things you can do. So to give you context, I don't know shit about marketing. I don't know nothing about marketing. All I know is how to record videos and edit. And I got this role, and I was like, this is an opportunity. This is incredible. Because they don't have anything set up. Now I told him, he was like, yeah, the starting base is gonna be 1,000. We can talk and negotiate a little bit of a higher raise point a little bit later on if you can bring us leads. And in my mind, I was like, you can give me whatever you need. 1,000 is a great place to start, I'm not gonna lie. But I was like, you give me whatever you need. Because the biggest thing is, I don't know anything about marketing, so I don't expect you to pay me. Now, his problem though is, he's like, I don't know how to edit. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to really pitch him the idea. I don't know what service I'm providing him aside from videography. I was like, okay, so there's this thing called ChatGPT. And everybody hates it. But literally, I sat for about 5 days, and I basically made an entire prompt about marketing. I have an entire code, if you need it, I can send it to you, that established the ChatGPT persona as a marketer. And I basically started, I was like, okay, this is our situation. This is what the cards were dealt with. This is the situation in the company. This is the industry. What can we do to basically set up what it would look like as a marketer controlling this company? And all the questions I had on, okay, how do I find the actual people that need this service? Asking questions. How do I find this? Asking questions. The network in sales allowed me to ask some people questions on, hey, do you guys have any resources? I ended up getting somebody that sent me an entire booklet on how to do cold email marketing. So it's out there. It is out there. It is out there. But you just have to be willing to say, take the first step, take the next step. And the other thing is, you're gonna go through this and you're gonna realize nothing's fucking working. You're like, I'm not making any money. Am I doing everything right? Is this even gonna work? But the issue is, you don't have anything on your calendar to basically set up your entire intention throughout the month. If it's not on your calendar, you're not gonna fucking do it. So you need to sit down on a Sunday and literally jot out your entire schedule, everything down to the teeth, down to the moment you wake up, down to the moment you sleep. And put exactly the things that you want to be. So like, if you want to become a marketer, what does a marketer do in his day-to-day to know that he's on the right track? You don't know that answer. But what you can do is use ChatGPT, you can create a persona, you can create a prompt, and get those answers started. Then from there, they're gonna give you checkpoints on things you need to check off. Whether it's marketing, content creation, whatever. Put those in your calendar. Say, okay, marketing told me I need to set up maybe some time out of the week to basically set up email campaigns. All right, this is gonna be for an entire hour, I'm gonna focus on setting up email campaigns. Boom. Next one. What's the next hour that we're probably gonna spend? All right, it said I need to do this. Boom. Next one. Boom. Next one. Boom. Next one. And you jot out your entire week through that. Because you're gonna have this feeling where you're like, okay, I decided to take the jump and do this. What do I do? And then you're gonna spend most of your time on Instagram just doom scrolling because you feel a lack of hope, because you're like, I don't even know where to start. You're playing the victim's mentality. Do you want to be a victim, or do you want to actually do something? So that's why you can actually do whatever. I've learned so much in just a week about marketing that I wouldn't have learned if I just genuinely used ChatGPT. I genuinely asked my sales community. I genuinely started piecing the things together. I came in with humility. I didn't just say, oh yeah, I know marketing. I told Warren, I told some of my buddies and the guy that I was working with, I was like, I don't know anything about marketing, but I will learn. And I was like, can you give me some of the tools I need so I can be on the best path possible? Now, how did I transfer this over to the military? The military, I worked as an admin troop. So basically we had staff meetings. Staff meetings are an entire rundown of the entire company on what they're going to be doing throughout the week and some updates, some things they need to work on. Just basically giving data to the CEO, which is the squadron commander. So I used to set up those staff meetings. So what I basically sent to the person that I'm working with, because basically I'm trying to build trust with the guy. I'm trying to make sure this guy knows that he shouldn't be going and looking for a marketer. I literally was like, here, I created an entire staff meeting about our company. This is gonna label exactly what the data points are. This is gonna label what I'm gonna be doing throughout the week so you know that I'm constantly doing stuff, because I don't want him to think on his day-to-day when he's looking at finances or budgeting, I wonder what Matthew's doing. I wonder if he's actually doing anything on the marketing. He will have an entire staff meeting presented to him that shows him everything that I'm doing, that shows him everything that they're missing, what we need to work on, what you need to project throughout the calendar, throughout the week. If you need me to send it to you, I can. Stuff like that. So, man, I'm giving you guys so much sauce, but it's exactly what you guys need. It's exactly what I started realizing. And this only happened the first month I left the military. I realized, I sat down and I was like, okay, do you want to feel sorry for yourself? No. Okay, what do we need to do then about it? And I started realizing, like, okay, what have we learned these past 3 years? I've learned so much about the military. And that's another thing. I recommend the military more than anything. Dive into the military. Do it. Do 4 years. Don't do 6. Do 4. Learn as much as you can. Because it allowed me to be in a better trajectory. But if you guys want to learn more about this, if you guys want to just follow the story, I'm going to keep on posting, keep on just posting as much content as possible. I think this has been an incredible talk. And if you need anything, you can reach out. If you need time out of your calendar, I'm willing to give up my time for free right now. So if you need a talk, if you need inspiration, if you need somebody to literally just ram shit down your throat so that you can just understand it and get it to a point, I'm going to be that guy for you, okay? So hope you guys have a good one. I'm not going to do the Do You Dare to Drink because I don't believe in that anymore. I think the best thing is do you dare to take the next step, and whatever you do, just go do it. All right, I'll see you guys later.